You are the front line of contact between your customers and your store.
Sure, low prices, location, and convenient hours are important, but in the long run, it's the way customers are treated that keeps them coming back.
Customers need to feel comfortable shopping at your store. Just goes back to the golden rule. Treat everybody the way you want to be treated.
Which means treat WIC customers with the same respect you give to everybody else.
After all, they do have a choice of stores, and they probably have non-WIC purchases to make as well.
There's no reason to embarrass any WIC customer.
And this translates to the things you don't say.
Your body language, tone of voice, facial gestures, and attitude send a message of how you really feel about your customers.
Our store has a real focus on excellent customer service, so I try to be friendly with everybody.
I always say, "Hi, how are you today?" I look for the WIC folder, and I treat the WIC shoppers the same as my other customers.
I've had customers ask for my help when they're unsure of something, instead of getting something and hoping it's right.
Yeah, we've had several customers leave their WIC folders at the store. We just mail them back to the clinic address on the folder.
Good afternoon. How are you today?
Greet the WIC customer with a welcome and smile, the way you're trained to greet all customers.
This is reduced fat peanut butter. You can't get this.
This is not an acceptable way to treat any customer.
Getting the wrong product is pretty common, especially until new WIC participants become familiar with the food choices.
For example, understanding which designated brands of cold cereals can be bought at your store. This is one of the most common mistakes made by WIC customers.
With all the foods out there are a lot of details to remember.
So how do you work with WIC customers when they get wrong items?
You're kind of a teacher,
as opposed to a cop.
Instead of arresting your customers when they make a mistake, try to help them understand their WIC food options.
Tell the customer what they can do, not what they can't do.
Be positive and helpful.
Sometimes when I tell a customer that an item's not approved, they tell me that other stores allow them to get it. I just show them the WIC food list and tell them that our store could lose WIC if we don't follow the rules.
Just yesterday, somebody picked up the 46-ounce apple juice, and it had to be the 64-ounce, or something like that. You could tell she was embarrassed. I felt for her. Some people are going through really hard times. Single mothers and parents who've lost their jobs. I think using WIC really helps me to stretch my purchasing options.
When I first started using WIC, I would get confused about ounces and brands, stuff like that. The cashier was nice, helping me when I made mistakes with WIC foods. She was patient and understanding.
Oh, this is not on the WIC food list. Cereals that are approved by WIC will have a WIC label on the shelf. I can have someone go and get the correct brand if you'd like.
Okay.
When you offer this type of assistance, the extra effort can go a long way in helping participants feel less stressed about making an honest mistake.
A positive customer service moment happens when you politely correct mistakes, not when everything goes right.
Oh, this is whole milk. Reduced fat milk is recommended for you. Reduced fat milk is labeled as 1%, 2%, or skim milk. If you'd like, I can call someone up and they can switch it out for you.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
You didn't get your peanut butter.
We've got plenty. I'm not going to get it this week.
Participants do not have to purchase all of the food benefits prescribed to them, unless it is for baby formula or infant cereal.
Before we ring up the sale, this customer has coupons. Coupons are allowed, and they may reduce the price of the customer's total bill, like cents off coupons.
Or they may help them get additional foods like buy one, get one free, or 2 for 1.
They must buy the stated size of the product, and any free items do not count as part of their WIC purchase.
WIC customers can also use your store's discount card to save even more money.
I do my WIC shopping around 10 at night. That way the lines aren't very long and I don't have to worry about holding anybody up.
Some of these foods I never buy if it wasn't for WIC. I've learned about what's healthy for my baby.
I've seen people in there like, what, not this cheese? And it has to be this cheese and this size and this brand. And if something goes wrong, they end up making everybody wait.
In some stores, the scanner automatically verifies each item as WIC approved.
But you know computers. They're great when they work, but they can be wrong, too.
That's why it's always a good idea to keep the WIC food list handy. That way you can check any items you're not sure about. All registers must have a copy.
If an item doesn't ring up as WIC approved, but is on the food list, call your manager to approve it.
Needless to say, calls for management assistance should be done in a friendly manner. Don't make the WIC customer feel like it's a hassle.
Remember, your verbal and nonverbal gestures can communicate your feelings to the WIC customer.
Stores are now required to post shelf labels for certain categories of WIC-approved items.
If a participant tells you that there's a shelf label under an unapproved item, let your manager know so it can be corrected.
Also, be sure to thank the WIC customer for bringing this to your attention.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, you're allowed to get either the bread or the tortillas, but not both.
I know I saw them both on the list.
Well, yes, ma'am. They're both listed, but you can only get one based on your food prescription.
I want them both. I don't care what the list says.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Allow me to call my manager, and we'll see if she can help us out.
If a WIC customer gets angry, handle it like you would any other customer. Be patient and helpful.
Sometimes it's necessary to call your manager for assistance in dealing with upset customers.
Good morning, how are you, ma'am? Wait a minute, you've got 2 half-gallons here, and you're supposed to get the 1 gallon.
It's still a gallon.
I know, but the gallon size is what's approved. If you like, I can call someone back here and they can take these 2 back for you and get a gallon, all right?
If a WIC customer makes a mistake, gets the wrong size or type, explain their options, then allow them to go get the correct item.
Better yet, see if one of your team members can go get it for them. These extra steps help them learn the right WIC items and boost your customer service.
The WIC labels on the shelves are a big help. They help me find the right food.
A lot of people think being on WIC is like food stamps, so I think that there's a stigma associated with using WIC. But the people at my store are so friendly that I never feel bad about using my WIC. After all, using WIC helps me feed my family, and that is more important.
I see my sister struggle. She doesn't have enough money for the formula, and she's not ashamed to use it. She has to feed her child. You gotta do what you gotta do to get by nowadays.
I had this one guy who was stocking shelves. He stopped and took the time to show me where the WIC products were.
Well, the nutritional benefits. I like knowing that WIC kind of aligns with the foods that are already in my diet, and that's what really attracted me to it. And the store people are always really helpful and pleasant.
Sometimes other customers can be rude when they see me using WIC, but I just ignore them and think about the positive sides of using WIC.
This milk bad. Can I get refund?
No, I can't give you a refund, but I can switch the milk for some fresh. Just a minute, all right? I'm gonna call a manager.
If a food is spoiled, it's okay to get a replacement of the same item.
However, no refunds or exchanges for money are allowed.
My baby doesn't like this formula. Can I exchange it for another brand?
Well, ma'am, I'm sorry. We can't exchange a formula that's different from the one prescribed. You'll need to contact your WIC office for any formula changes.
Since formula is specifically prescribed for each infant, the prescribed formula is the only one a WIC customer can buy.
If there are any problems with this requirement, see your manager for assistance.
If you think that a WIC customer is returning foods or formula in exchange for another formula or money, again, see your manager.
You can also fill out this incident complaint form to report any suspected abuse.
If you have any situation with WIC customers that you don't feel qualified to handle, or if the customer becomes too upset, disruptive, or even abusive, it's always a good idea to call on a manager for help.
As we mentioned earlier, This should always be done in a helpful manner. Always be polite to your WIC customers, even if they're upset.
Always give the WIC customer the benefit of the doubt. Most of the time, they make honest mistakes.
By the same token, you have the right to be treated with respect. If a WIC customer is rude to you, you can report it on this form as well.
WIC customers are encouraged to report any unpleasant shopping experiences they have to the state WIC office.
If you have a WIC customer who seems confused about what to buy, use this form to suggest that the WIC office help the customer better understand the foods they can purchase.
We have a lot of WIC customers. They're a lot of business for our store.
All customers are important. WIC customers make other purchases too. No customers, no paycheck.
If we take the time to help them when they first start shopping with WIC, then they'll understand the right items. If I'm helpful and friendly, then they'll keep coming back to my store.
Money, that's the bottom line. I mean, the WIC items are just part of what's in their cart. The more people buy, the more profit for my store, and the more hours I can work. So everybody wins.
Helping WIC customers when they have questions is your way of making their WIC shopping experience a positive one.
It all comes down to this. Give your WIC customers the same excellent service you give all your customers, and they'll keep coming back.